I did run through that, like, is this a fake priest? No, because Louis knows him. Like, Louis had the whole conversation with him and knows who he is. So it doesn't seem like he's a fake priest. He's just a priest that goes outside the...
He's just a dirty priest.
He's just a dirty priest. I think we're just calling them priests.
Yes. He's just a priest.
He's just a priest.
Hey, Upper East Siders and all you scandal-loving listeners out there. You've just tuned into the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, where the coffee is strong, the waffles are fresh, and the gossip is hotter than ever. My name is Leif, and I'm your seasoned Gossip Girl veteran.
And I'm Steve, the newbie, the greenhorn, the rookie, I don't know, Leif, what am I now in season 5?
I've considered them all, but no matter what, this podcast was conceived out of love, and I'm going to record it.
Well, even if no one listens, Leif, you've still got me. So here's the deal, folks. Leif has been watching Gossip Girl since it first aired, and I'm diving in for the first time. And together, we're your dynamic duo, bringing you all the drama, romance, and sometimes questionable fashion choices of this iconic 2007 series.
Bring your magnifying glasses, because each week we're dissecting every juicy detail of the show, one episode at a time. We'll connect the dots, uncover those sneaky little Easter eggs, and of course, serve up some piping hot behind-the-scenes tea. And expect some iconic fandom moments too, because what's a deep dive without a little drama?
And since we are all about inclusivity here on the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, there is always a seat for you at the Non-Judging Breakfast table. So go ahead and grab your mimosa, a cup of coffee, or roll up something from Chuck's medicine cabinet and you won't feel a thing.
And before we start today, there's a sad week in the teen drama world.
Mm-hmm.
James Vanderbeek passed away from colorectal cancer.
Yeah, it's sad. He's like 6 months older than me, 9 months older than me, which... When I remember seeing his birthday and being like, damn, like,
yeah.
So yeah, really sad. Great, talented kid, who grew up into a really, when I came in, you were watching Don't Trust the Bee, which I think his performance on that show is just spectacular.
I just, scrolling through all the tributes on Instagram, it just seems like he's such a good person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like everybody genuinely loved him. I saw Sarah Michelle Gellar had said something about growing up in TV together and yeah.
But on to more positive things, or at least slightly more positive things.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Season 5, episode 2 of Gossip Girl, Beauty and the Feast.
Yeah.
Original air date was October 3rd, 2011.
Slightly more positive.
And of course, the title is based on Beauty and the Beast.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
One of my least favorite fairy tales.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely teaches kids, hey, little girls, you should find that man who's really a piece of shit and tame him and fix him.
Well, it's very much like Chuck and Blair.
It really is.
Forever Team Gaston. Gaston was right.
LeFou, I believe I've been thinking.
Just because he was an asshole too doesn't mean he wasn't right.
She was kidnapped and held against her will. She just fell in love, though. Stockholm Syndrome, the children's fairy tale.
This episode was written by Sarah Goodman.
I noticed that.
Mm-hmm. She had previously written The Wrath of Khan, How to Succeed in Bassness, The Hurt Locket, Ex-Husbands and Wives, Double Identity, The Witches of Bushwick, While You Weren't Sleeping, and Shattered Bass.
Which one's Witches of Bushwick?
That's the one where Jenny and Juliet and Vanessa all team up and take down Serena. The mass ball.
Yeah. Okay. Because every time she writes an episode, it's a roller. I have the same comment that she has some good episodes. She also has some terrible episodes.
While You Weren't Sleeping was a very good episode. That was directed by Norman Buckley.
Yeah. But Hurt Locket is one of my least favorite episodes. I don't feel...
Not necessarily her fault.
What's that?
Not necessarily her fault.
Yeah. It's not a good story.
It's just a stupid fucking Chuck's mom bullshit.
Yeah, it was just a really dumb plotline.
Yeah. The episode was directed once again by Mark Pisnarski, who did the premiere episode as well. So once again, back-to-back episode. It's like a 2-part premiere, just like last season. Yeah,
it makes sense to do. It's pretty much how they've run it since second season. So,
but I think only he gets the opportunity to direct both,
right?
Yeah.
I thought Saffron and who was it? Goodman did see the back-to-back.
Well, they're writers. He's the director. Pisnarski's the director.
For some reason I was thinking that the same person directed last season the first two also.
Yes. Yeah, Mark Pisnarski. That's what I said.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. He did
usually it's usually a 2-part premiere, but only he gets the privilege, I think, of directing both parts.
And he did it in the third and fourth season.
And the first season.
Oh, okay. All right. That's right. I forgot that he did the series.
The pilot, and then also the Wild Brunch.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And we get some new guest stars this week. We get Roxanne Mesquida as Beatrice Grimaldi. Kind of interesting because before this, she's almost exclusively in French language stuff. But then after Gossip Girl, it's almost all Hollywood English language.
Oh,
stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's also interesting because, and I haven't watched a lot of French film or French media in general, but I know I've criticized Louis' acting a few times in this. She acts the same. And I'm wondering if it's like a cultural thing in filmmaking, that it is just like a little bit more. I feel they are both a little dry and forced in their acting. And I don't know if it's a struggling with the language versus the material and what they're doing, or if it is a stylistic thing. And seeing them paired together, like Louis and Beatrice actually had, it's the first time that I've really found Louis to have chemistry with someone, was when it was with Beatrice. And it wasn't, romantic chemistry, but they really felt like siblings. And it was like, this pair works, but he doesn't seem to fit with everything else. And neither did she, but she just didn't interact as much. So,
and I feel like that's kind of intentional.
Yeah, I think so too. I just felt like they really lined up. And I just kind of had that thought of, I wonder if it's a cultural thing or a process thing where French actors have a different process or a different expectation on what's going to be delivered on screen.
We also get introduced to Mark Menard playing Father Cavalia.
Yes.
The hot, dirty priest.
The dirty priest. Robin, both times we watched, I thought they were not allowed to do that. They're not.
But yeah, so he's had an interesting career. His second role ever was a show called Ocean Avenue, where he did 183 out of 235 episodes, all in 1 year.
Wow.
From 2002 to 2003.
183 episodes in 1 year?
Yeah.
That has to be released like every other day. Like literally, you're releasing an episode every other day.
It was a cop show, apparently, but it's a daytime soap.
Oh, well, yeah, if it's a daytime soap, that makes sense.
And then he did 66 episodes of a show called Watch Over Me. And then after that, just like small one-off. And
I've heard of Watch Over Me.
And one or two episode recurring things.
Mm-hmm.
So that is our guest stars. Why don't you give us that Vulture recap?
Sure thing. Last night, it was as if a plague had swept the Upper East Side, one whose symptoms were uniquely tailored to their hosts. Nearly everyone on Gossip Girl was suffering. Blair was the pregnantest pregnant person ever, full of bile and puke and inconvenient emotions. She wants badly to be a princess, but the determination of the creature inside of her to make trouble is an almost certain indication of who its father is. And it's not mild-mannered Louis, even if he is surprisingly virile. Meanwhile, Chuck was experiencing acute female hysteria, Dan was lovelorn as ever, and Nate had an itch that only a cougar could scratch. And then there was Serena, who, as always, was suffering from chronic stupidity.
Oh my.
Serena in this episode is just one after another of being like, who would do that? But then like, Serena. like it really is established that she really would do all of what she does in this.
We open Act 1 with a Gossip Girl monologue. Rise and shine, Upper East Siders. It's time for your annual checkup. Lucky for you, doctors take their confidentiality seriously around here. We open at Dorota's ultrasound appointment. Blair is also in attendance and surprisingly concerned about things. When the doctor steps away, Dorota quickly realizes Blair is also pregnant, but Blair says it has to stay secret for now.
Yeah, we kind of saw this coming from last week.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Man, this is a shark that didn't need jumping.
No.
It really didn't.
And they're hitting like every single stereotype.
Yeah. It is. Yep.
Every trope.
Every one of them. And like, it's so much more ridiculous than real life. Yeah. And I mean, I know it's a TV show, but it's also like, come on.
At the Empire, Nate is having some mechanical issues and Chuck is still feeling nothing. Nate says the issue is mental rather than physical. He is still hung up on the mysterious woman from L.A. He says his mom is helping him get an internship.
I like Chuck in this. I liked Chuck in this episode in general. Despite the dumbness of the Chuck storyline, the non-Chuck storylines that he's a part of were funny. This interaction with Nate when he's like, you know, you've got that mom thing. She called, by the way. Did she leave a number or any way to get in touch? Last I checked, it was Ann Archibald, and it's the same number she always has. Also, when he's like, maybe some pharmaceutical help. Oh, no, I wish it was the weed. That's not what I mean. To which Robin also responded, Nate, take the pill because you don't want to get a reputation.
At the loft, Rufus is sad Dan isn't helping him with breakfast, but Dan is too busy trying to figure out which publisher has his book. Attempts to hack the bank where Vanessa's check came from aren't going great, so he calls Serena for advice. She suggests asking Chuck for help as he has a relevant experience.
It's a good suggestion. You know, it is. Chuck is the guy that'll handle this kind of shady stuff.
Yes, he would sleep with another woman at a bank.
Just to get Dan access. And I like a Dan-Chuck team up too, so I wasn't mad about that.
No.
It's funny for I think this episode was terrible for a lot in a large part, but there's a lot of stuff that I liked that they attempted. You know.
The dialogue is really good.
Yeah, the dialogue is really good. The plot is just, what are we doing here?
Max and Ivy are prepping for their respective days. Max asks how his cooking is, and Ivy wants to know which clogs make her look more like a Trustafarian. Max mentions a potential opportunity in Portland if they were to move again.
I like Max. I think Max is a good guy. I think he's a sweet guy. I think he's really taking care of Ivy.
He should just go to Portland.
But he should just go to Portland.
Yeah. Stay away from these toxic people.
Yeah. Max, she's doing you a favor by the end of this. But in 2 episodes, he's probably one of the most upstanding men we've seen on Gossip Girl.
Just right away. They will chew you up and turn you into a shell of a man.
Yep. If you stay with them, you will be accosting diplomat drug dealers. and yeah. Does Ivy ever tell you to call her someone else? Does Ivy ever tell you to call her Serena? It's not as creepy now. We're not cousins.
So that, yeah. Louis explains the Feast of Assumption to Blair. She is worried that she won't like his sister Beatrice, who just then gets off the elevator and greets the happy couple. Beatrice's perfume triggers Blair's morning sickness.
Yep, because everything is going to trigger Blair's morning sickness. And to a degree, yes, this is something that happens, right? I was the father to 3 pregnancies, and my ex-wife threw up 1 time in 3 pregnancies. So, of course, everyone reacts differently. She felt sick every morning when she woke up, every day for all 9, for the first trimester of all 3 pregnancies. Like that was true. But, and again, like, it is a different experience for everybody. But just to try to drive this home, and also I think a lot of this was to repurpose the bulimia from season 1 and kind of remind us. We have little reminders here and there about it, and I felt like they really wanted to do a reminder / public service announcement, because they do this sometimes, where, like, the STD thing with Juliet, like, well, you should get tested, and men don't show as often as men, they do these PSA sort of episodes. I feel like they really missed the mark on this one in a lot of the execution.
Yeah, because they kind of just made the bulimia a joke.
Yes. Yeah. And other things that I'll get to later. But yes, it became a punchline instead of a serious disease, except for the one time they mentioned that it's a serious disease.
Dan, thank you very much.
Yes. Well, Beatrice says it too. Beatrice does say to Louis it's a horrible disease.
Yeah.
But she's doing it out of judgment of Blair and her character.
And trying to get
the
throne.
Yeah. She has ulterior motives.
Ivy and Serena are at a restaurant, and Ivy explains that Carol doesn't know that she's in L.A. Ivy can't completely hide the shock at the fact that Serena announces she's staying in L.A.
Ivy being, like, on top of her lies. I'm going to give it to her that Ivy's pretty smart. She pulled off that first scheme, and flawlessly. Flawless victory when she came back to Florida and Carol gave her the money. Now, when she's caught and she's able to just quick fire off these, like, all these reasons why everything is happening. Why you shouldn't call my mom. Why she cut me off again. She's just on top of it. I know that's not yet, but she's just on top of it all the time. And I like that for her character, that they are.
It's very reminiscent of an early Jenny.
Yes. I was just going to say, they are trying to bring someone in with Jenny's level of scheming and
reactionary scheming.
Yes, reactionary scheming. That you could never get Jenny for more than 30 seconds. When they locked her in the Waldorf store, you remember, and she snuck her way out of that, and it's that level of wit
Back in New York, Blair is being polite and trying to choke down some food and feigns happiness when Beatrice announces she is extending her stay to get to know Blair better. A nauseous Blair excuses herself.
Okay, so here's the other thing about the morning sickness throughout this episode. And again, this is me personally. I know I'm not like other people all the time, but if I feel like I'm going to be sick, I've got like seconds to get somewhere. Mm-hmm. That it's not like, oh man, I think I'm going to throw up in the next 20 minutes. I better meander my way to a bathroom, which...
Well, Steve, you're not nearly the control freak that Blair Waldorf is.
You will stay in my stomach until I say so.
You have no trouble using mind-altering substances.
That is also true. that relieve nausea.
You're much more of a Nate than a Blair.
Yeah. That's sadly true. Elizabeth Hurley, what you doing?
So Gossip Girl's little end of act quip kind of goes over the last two scenes, and this is what she says. They say misery loves company, but sometimes it's the company that makes you miserable. But nothing's worse than company that overstays their welcome. Good luck, B. Have fun being the hostess with the mostest. We move into Act 2. As she walks out of the restaurant with Ivy, Serena is explaining that she is taking a semester off from Columbia to see how the job goes. Her only problem is living with Cece isn't conducive to a normal work schedule and suggests her and Ivy get a place together.
Yeah, fun. Rhodes women live together when they're in California. It's tradition.
Throwback to Lillian Canada.
Yeah, I like that. I love the little references to Cece, that her bridge game got violent at 2 a.m.
Oh, boy. Too much gin.
Can you imagine the gin at that function? They just probably have a Tanqueray bar. It's just a wall of just gallon bottles.
They probably have something much nicer than Tanqueray.
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't want it. I love me some Tanqueray. That's my drink, is a Tanqueray on the rocks. I got that from my dad. It's one of the things that I still appreciate that I got from my dad.
Dan is using the Gossip Girl spotted map to stalk Chuck and finds him paying two large men to fight him. When Dan threatens to call the cops, the guys take off. Dan spots Chuck's bruises and becomes concerned, but Chuck just walks away.
So we see Chuck on the video walking through.
No, that's later.
Oh, okay. You're right. My bad. This is just him. Yeah.
Yeah, he just uses the spotted map, finds him in the alley. This is during the day.
Yeah. And gets there, and the two guys shoving him at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
when they hear cops, are like, we didn't sign up for this, and they run off.
Yeah, they leave. And Chuck is annoyed. And Dan makes all of the assumptions as to you're just trying to get Blair's attention again, which valid. All of Dan's assumptions are completely valid.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone has chronicled all of these behaviors for the past 4 years, it's Dan. And we know he has in a book.
At the Empire, Nate is making pot brownies and still trying to track down the woman from L.A. Chuck returns home, followed by a still concerned Dan. He finds Nate and explains the situation with Chuck and thinks it's some kind of scheme to get Blair's attention. Nate tells Chuck he is going to call a doctor to check him out. Chuck agrees without a fuss while grabbing a pot brownie.
What a waste of pot, the way that you just burnt those brownies, too. Like, how do you burn store-bought brownies, Nate? Come on, Nate. Of course, I don't...
They didn't look burnt when he took them out.
Yeah, and then they were fine when he actually took them out. My daughter recently came to me and was like, can we order some brownie mix? And I was like, we don't do mix in this house. I make amazing brownies, if anyone's curious. Weed or otherwise. But usually, my edibles aren't brownies. I usually make meals. I usually infuse other stuff like to make like mac and cheese.
Blair and Beatrice are bonding while walking around the park. Beatrice explains about how many guardrails are going to be around her life as the consort to the ruling prince. She also explains that her own brief time in the spotlight only showed her that she didn't want it. Blair once again excuses herself at the smell of a food cart.
Yeah, and I guess this is when Beatrice first starts finding her angle, I'd say, when she sees her run off.
Yeah.
And starts thinking at this point that she has a drug problem.
Ivy and Serena are looking at the perfect apartment, but Ivy keeps making excuses why they shouldn't take it. Serena strong-arms her into not only taking the apartment, but using one of her stolen checks for the down payment.
But it was so Serena of her, to just, what does this mean you don't want to live with me? With her pouty face that she puts on, and it's like, no. She will just strong arm her way into anything she wants. Yeah. And why not? I mean, that's how she's lived her life.
Yeah.
And also, like, I'm not mad at her about it because Serena is not self-aware enough to know what she's doing. She's just trying to live with her cousin in this beautiful fucking house on the beach in LA.
Yeah.
That's probably the rent there is probably $1 million to start,
Not cheap.
No, not cheap. And you also know that Serena probably is the one paying, like, oh, Charlie, you can just live here. I'm just going to get a 2-bedroom. I don't expect you to chip in much. I'm fine. But although, except for the deposit here.
Well, from Serena's perspective, Charlie / Ivy has
tons of money.
Exactly the same amount of money she has.
Yeah. Even more because she hasn't been spending it since she turned 18.
After the doctor finishes checking up Chuck, he explains to Nate that Chuck needs to stop taking drugs and rest as his injuries are quite serious.
Yeah.
You should see his medicine cabinet. Yeah, I was just kidding. No.
I love how he was like cracking jokes and like, oh wait, this is okay. This is serious.
Nate.
No, Nate.
Beatrice and Blair return to the Waldorf apartment, and Blair once again excuses herself. Dorota tries to usher Beatrice back into the elevator, but the princess stops and accuses Blair of having a drug problem. When Dorota suggests it's just a sensitive stomach, Beatrice immediately jumps to bulimia. Dorota panics when she realizes she has said too much and runs off to make a tuna melt. And Beatrice calls Louis and leaves a quick message.
I love how it is the most like vomit-inducing food that she's like, no, I will prove to you that she's fine. I'll make a tuna melt. That she also knows Blair wouldn't eat right now with everything that's going on. Or ever, right.
We move into Act 3. Nate finds Diana leaving his mom's house and is excited, thinking she was there looking for him, but soon disappointed to learn she was there trying to get an interview with Anne for her newspaper. Nate still fails to get her name.
Yeah. She's just at my house now. It's convenient, Nate. It's really convenient.
Yeah. But that's just how easy Nate's life is, though.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
So he has no reason to be suspicious because his life normally is that easy.
Yeah. Oh, you did fly across the country to find me. Awesome. I knew I was that awesome.
Because he's got stamina. Oh, Nate.
Oh, sweet, sweet Nate.
Walking the streets, Beatrice is telling Louis about Blair's bulimia, but he says that Blair already told him all about her old problem. Beatrice insists the problem has resurfaced.
It's funny, both Dorota and Louis mentioned it being high school. And okay, yeah, I guess we started with them in junior year. So I guess it was probably like freshman, sophomore year. Because I really got the impression that it was well under control. That sort of a year before Thanksgiving was when it was bad. Right? Like, there's indications that
she was in recovery. Like, she was basically started recovery right before Thanksgiving of a year before the show started.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. That was what was sort of indicated all along. So I guess that would have been 9th grade, or 10th grade. Yeah. So, okay. Well, and probably 9th and 10th grade, if you think about it. Like, it would probably start in 9th grade. If she's going into treatment the beginning of 10th grade.
We don't really know how long it lasted. It could have been years.
That's kind of what I was trying to say, is that this probably went on longer than just high school.
I think they say teenage, not high school. I know that's what Dorota says.
I think that Louis says high school. I think Dorota says teenage. I think Louis says high school.
Ivy calls the realtor wanting to cancel the check she wrote for the apartment, only to learn that it has already been denied and given back to Sarita.
So, should have called that quicker.
Yeah.
But also, they like walked out of there and were like, okay, I need you to call this check in for me. They're like, they didn't even have mobile deposit yet. How'd they get the check cashed that fast?
Blair and Dorota are doing some pregnancy bonding, and for once, a character is aware enough not to spill the beans with potential lurkers around every corner. Good thing, too, because Louis pops in to check on Blair with Beatrice in tow. They let her know that they moved the Feast of Assumption to New York so Blair could experience it. Blair is not too excited about the thought of all that rich food.
Yeah, we just moved this whole feast across the ocean today for you to be there instead. Like, they were supposed to go back to Monaco for this.
Yes, I mean, I'm not so worried about moving the feast because really that's just cooking food in a different spot, and also it's a Catholic tradition, so they probably were doing it anyway.
They probably were doing it anyway, but now what about the people that you had invited? All the people that are attending the one that you're supposed to be at.
They probably still have that too.
Right. I'm just saying.
The part I'm more concerned about is we know they already play fast and loose with travel around New York City, but now they're coming from Monaco to New York and then back to Monaco in one day.
Yeah, exactly. That they just flew in this morning, but also if they just decide now that they're moving it to the night, yeah, that priest has to fly from Monaco and be here by the next scene. Yes. Or at least 3 scenes from now.
Dan returns to the Empire to ask for Chuck's help, but quickly realizes that Chuck might need his help more. Dan fails to stop Chuck from leaving or from the burn Chuck gave him on his way out the door. I'm talking about full carnal knowledge.
Yeah.
It hurts, doesn't it?
I wish I could feel it. That
so
was
good.
So good. I laughed so hard at that. And I'm going to say this was one of Ed's better episodes, I felt.
Well, parts of it.
Yeah.
Some of it was really bad. Like the fighting scenes where he's whispering acting was really bad.
I kind of liked it for what it was. That he's trying to pretend like he's not feeling any of this and Batman whispering his way through everything. Because the plot was so dumb, I liked how he did it. But especially that look on his face, wish I could feel it, as the elevator door closed, was just...
once again, Gossip Girl's quip is split over the final 2 scenes of the act, and she has this to say. Let's hope B's first Feast of Assumption doesn't end in damnation. A kiss is just a kiss. Poor lonely boy, even on the outer boroughs of love. We move into Act 4. Ivy returns to the restaurant where, as Max points out, she was fired from. She tells him she wants to go to Portland with him and convinces him to pack their bags and leave tonight.
Ivy, it's a good instinct. It's a good instinct to just pack up and get out of here and just disappear again and let Serena just think that you hate her.
Yeah.
Just let her. You're better off if Serena thinks you just hate her and don't want anything to do with her.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if Cece gets that shit unlocked for you.
At the feast, Blair is fighting her nausea in front of Beatrice and Louis. Blair is introduced to Father Cavalia, the priest that will marry them. Blair sees Dan across the church like a sign from God and excuses herself to go talk to him. Louis and Beatrice continue to argue over Blair's condition.
Her line when she sees Dan and says, "Thank you very much. I will never question the paternity of your son again." That line, like, we know that Blair doesn't come across as very religious. We know that she, she's also expressed many liberal views on the show. And to have her come out and say that she's always questioned the paternity of Mary's son, I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
I think that's the first step in deconstruction.
Blair ignores what Dan is trying to tell her about Chuck and grabs his hand and tells him to walk with her.
Yep. And holds his hand as they're walking, too, which I thought was interesting. Dan, who's also at this, in a jeans and a t-shirt, like walks in wearing what I would wear to a friend's house.
Yes. Well, as we find out later, they were about to welcome the homeless in as well.
Yes, that is true.
Nate found Diana's card and finally knows her name. He has lured her back to the Archibald townhouse. He attempts to trade an interview with his mother for sex with Diana, who takes him up on the offer right in broad daylight.
like you're just in a vestibule.
Yes.
And Nate's shirt's off. Like, it's not even like quickie pants, waist down outside sex. It's like full on taking shirts off and banging outside because of his stamina. And
so, yeah, like a long session, presumably.
Yeah, because it's an hour.
Not a quickie, they're going to go out for so they probably got fully naked.
Yeah, right there for an hour. and when he's like, and also,
but his family townhouses are right there.
Yeah,
just go inside, Nate. Come on.
Yeah, or go, I don't know, anywhere you want to. You live at a hotel where you have options, Nate, and you chose the vestibule. And also, just Nate, how handsy he got with her when she showed up, and he's like got his hands on her waist, like, bruh, like, this is not your girlfriend. Nate usually isn't. I don't want to use. It's not that he was aggressive in terms of like angry aggression, but he was aggressive in his
very forward.
Yeah, very forward and very handsy.
But because it's Nate, it works.
Yeah, he's got those dreamy blue eyes.
Mm.
He was charming, and there's that.
Ivy finds Serena waiting for her outside her apartment. Serena says she's on to her, and of course, Ivy assumes the worst.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'm busted. How do I get out of this? But Serena is too stupid.
Yes, as we soon find out.
Yes.
But first, Blair barges into the ladies' room with her security detail, a.k.a. Dan, and kicks everyone out. Blair says he has her forgiveness if he guards the door. Dan drops the "you slept with Chuck" bomb, but Blair once again tells him to guard the door as she heads for the stall. Dan hears Blair being sick and then goes and tells Beatrice before telling her to leave. Dan, too, is worried Blair's bulimia has resurfaced. However, Blair eventually yields and admits she is pregnant just in time for Beatrice to come back in and overhear.
Yeah, It's funny that Dan also tells the one person not to tell. Oh, she's throwing up right now. Princess is puking. And also the amount of conversation that Blair is able to have before throwing up. And another point that I meant to bring up right before she got sick, the catalyst for her getting sick, was Beatrice feeding her the Babajan. When we talked about bulimia being a punchline in this, Beatrice moved a feast to put Blair in front of all of this food, to shove something in her face to see if she would throw it up. So to out this person and their medical issues, I'm going to force food into their face. It was awful. Like, it's just not how to treat people.
Steve, when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Or you die. At touche. Touche, Littlefinger. Touche.
No, Cersei said that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was Littlefinger.
This is what Gossip Girl has to say. While one mother's life leads her to heaven, another is going straight to hell in a Moses basket. We move into Act 5. Outside the bathroom, Blair chases down Beatrice and tells her that she is going to tell Louis as soon as she knew the pregnancy was okay. Louis only overhears part of the conversation, but Beatrice surprisingly covers for Blair. Dan sees a blast about Chuck walking around a bad neighborhood and says he has to go, but promises not to say anything about Blair being preggers.
So first, Beatrice covering for Blair with letting the homeless people in to eat, which I loved how she was covering for Blair, which immediately you kind of get the sense she's covering for Blair for her own good. Yeah. That she doesn't think being pregnant is the scandal that bulimia would be. I kind of clocked that right when that happened. The other part of this was, and also Blair's reaction to feeding and serve them. Not to eat with them, but to serve them.
With gloves on.
With gloves on. So this is where the close-up of Chuck walking through the city to go to this bad neighborhood, you're looking at it on a phone, right? Am I to believe that perfectly framed shot was taken by someone's cell phone and then blasted to Gossip Girl? Like, it wasn't even a portrait image, right? Even then, cell phone footage either would have been closer to a square or it would have been a more portrait image. And this is just Chuck perfectly framed with a close-up, no less, walking through the city. I thought that was really just one of those funny things about the show where it's like...
We had iPhones already at this point.
We had iPhones. Well, that's my point, is that the iPhones and stuff, for Chuck not to notice somebody shooting that, they probably would have had to be across the street, right? Yeah, I mean...
Well, I just took it that Chuck just doesn't care because he's used to people taking pictures of him.
Sure, that too. I just felt like the way that the camera angle moved and then stayed still when he walked past, it just felt so shot, which I know it is, but I guess my feeling is use an iPhone to shoot that. Use the technology you're trying to show you have to make me feel a little more immersed. And maybe nobody watching in 2011 cared. I just feel like looking back, it feels, come on, put the effort in, guys.
Serena naturally assumes Carol has cut Ivy off from the trust fund again, and not that she is an actress paid by her aunt to impersonate her cousin. She tells Ivy that she'll make sure Cece unlocks her trust fund in a way that won't let Carol know about it.
Something in this episode made me sad. It was the realization that Cece would do that for Ivy because Cece doesn't know her grandchild. Because Cece thought that Ivy, along with everybody else, Cece was there. So Cece also is duped into thinking that Ivy is Charlie. And that made me sad that she kept her kid that far away from her mom that she couldn't recognize her. And I felt for Cece in that.
That leads me into my question I have for you. What happened to the real Charlie, and will we ever meet her?
So I also thought about that, right? I've assumed the real Charlie is in Florida, not knowing that her mom has her trust fund. And I do think we'll meet her at some point. I feel like we have to for the reveal, right? There's the chance that she, I don't know, died or something. And that Caroline didn't want to let anyone know and just took the money. But Charlie wasn't even expected to be in the city during the time that Caroline visited. So the whole thing, I really felt that Caroline just kept Charlie that far from the family. There's also the chance maybe she lied about having a kid just so that she could one day get the trust fund for that kid. I think that's a little bit more of a stretch, but...
Well, Serena does mention at one point that they spent time together on a yacht when they were younger.
You're right. They have met as kids too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do fully believe that she'll show up if she's alive.
Dan finds Chuck in a darkened alley, once again being roughed up by the guys from earlier. Dan catches a rabbit punch when he tries to step in, but eventually convinces Chuck to call them off. After they leave, Chuck explains that he feels nothing no matter what he does.
The punch on Dan was hilarious. The way that Dan walks in, it's just like, bam. He's like, yo, I'm not a part of this. Like with his bloody lip. Like, dude. And it's not that Dan's afraid to throw a punch, right?
Yeah.
Like we've seen Dan, for Chuck, we've seen him defend Chuck's honor before. So it was really funny that he just walks up and takes this punch and is like, dude. And they're like, oh, my B. He said no one should interrupt us this time. That's your safe word? Stop it.
I'm not trying to kill myself. Nate and Diana are wrapping up their date, and I guess Nate's story of how he convinced his mom to do an article impressed her enough to offer him a job. Nate is a little hesitant to go against his family again, but how can he say no when she pulls him in for the kiss?
So I was thinking last week that it was the family bringing her in, right? I had said that it seemed like a grandfatherian thing to do to send a honeypot to bring Nate back to the family. But now the family has this thing that they want him to do, and she's taking him away from that. So now is grandfather trying to pull him away from Anne, or is there some other thing? Or, I mean, the other side of it is it Howie? Is Howie the one trying to get Nate away from the Vanderbilts? So is Howie trying to get Nate away from the Vanderbilts is now more of where I'm leaning on it.
Does Howie have that kind of power?
Howie has that kind of charisma, right? Howie has, I know we don't see it, but I believe we're supposed to believe it. He's this smooth talker who is easily led and easily used, but he does have that gift of gab we've seen. It's usually because it's going to get him in trouble, but he has, shown that a little bit. So I'm wondering if it is a Howie thing and not a grandfather thing. Because I can't think of who else would be trying to, other than, unless they tried to bring back what's the family that they were feuding with?
Buckleys.
The Buckleys. So unless they're trying to bring the Buckleys back into this, which I kind of felt like that was done with Carter. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to bring the Buckleys back into it. But I was thrown by him going to work for her. Not surprised, just thrown from my prediction.
Can we also take a moment to chuckle at the fact that she is using a newspaper as the cornerstone for her new media empire in 2011? Not exactly forward thinking.
Yeah. And from here, I'm going to do all of these other things. For frame of reference, when I moved back to Pennsylvania from California, I was offered two jobs. One, selling cars at a dealership in Jersey, and the other selling newspaper ads in Bucks County for the Courier-Times. And that is the job I went with because it was more in line with my training as an English teacher. I was like, okay, if I work for this newspaper company, maybe I can find another avenue while I'm in there. And let me tell you, in 2006, trying to sell newspaper ads was already near impossible. And the only success that I really had was it was a midterm year. There were midterm elections happening, and I was only allowed to sell advertisements to Republican candidates. And my sales partner was only allowed to sell to Democratic candidates. And those were the only people that I was selling a lot of ads to. I would sell like here and there, like I'd occasionally get one run, or I had a list of people who were regular clients that I could pop into and get them, and they would just do their regular monthly sales. But the large pull was just from politicians that knew that the only people reading the newspaper were the old folks who were going to vote.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I was with that job for like 3 or 4 months because you could smell the death of the print media in the air. And I believe they might still be around in some fashion, still printing papers, but man, did it feel decayed.
Those boomers haven't died off yet.
Nope. They're
hanging on for dear life.
Nope. Just talked to Mom yesterday. Love you, Mom. Please keep hanging on for dear life, Mom. And my dad isn't going to die. I just think one day he is going to crumble into dust and blow into the wind.
We go into the final break with this Gossip Girl quip. Watch out, Nate. Looks like sex play may not be the only game you're a pawn in. We move into the epilogue. Back at the Empire, Dan has found a WebMD diagnosis for Chuck's condition. Dan says treatment involves making the patient try to feel something again, but suggests trying for something a little happier than pain. Dan then explains the situation in his book. Chuck agrees to help, and we get a Charlie Trout reference.
I really loved this scene, especially because of that bit. The first part about like the diagnosing and like, hey, trying to feel something good. Like it was nice. It was a good, because it's
I could tickle you, Steve.
Okay. Just imagine if Chuck was like, okay, let's try it. What I liked that Dan was forthcoming about the book. Hey, I wrote a book. It's about all of us. And it's not good if it gets out to anyone. And Chuck immediately is like, the return of Charlie Trout. And he's like, yeah, pretty much. I like the honesty. And I like that it's not a matter of, you can't know I did this thing. It's, you don't want this thing to get out. And it does show that Dan is seeing these people as friends now. That he has a more of a friendly relationship with them, including Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
And it really felt like Dan is not ashamed of his work. He's not apologetic about it. He just knows that it could hurt people that are close to him.
Yeah. Max returns to the apartment, excited to hit the road for Portland, but Ivy says she can't go with him. She gets a text from Serena and breaks up with him.
Yeah. Man, you dodged a bullet here, Max. Go to Portland, be a chef, and live your dream. You've got the angle here You are dodging a bullet. And again, Max, congratulations on being one of the nicest men to guest star on Gossip Girl. It's like you and Cyrus.
This is not the last time we see Max.
Oh, I'm really glad about that. I'm actually really happy about that. And I hope he does stay a good guy, but I
should have went to Portland, Max.
Should have went to Portland, Max.
In a limo, we see Beatrice is in cahoots with Father Cavalia and explains why she didn't reveal Blair's pregnancy. The two begin making out. Bon Dieu?
Yeah, Robin, both times we watched this, priests aren't allowed to do that, are they? No, they are not. Oh, is he really a priest? Probably. He's not allowed to do that, though.
At least she's of consenting age.
At least she is of a consenting age. And it is funny because, like, I did run through that, like, is this a fake priest? No, because Louis knows him. Like, Louis had the whole conversation with him and knows who he is. So it doesn't seem like he's a fake priest. He's just a priest that goes outside the...
He's just a dirty priest.
He's just a dirty priest. I think we're just calling them priests.
Yes. He's just a priest.
He's just a priest.
Ivy finds Serena waiting next to a limo downstairs. Also, it turns out Serena took the job without asking the location, which just happens to be in New York. How convenient.
How convenient.
Ivy can't help but accept when Serena invites her to go along for the ride. Walking that fine line, Ivy. Walking that line.
Yeah, Ivy, this is where you dip. Because you could just right here. Hey, look.
I like LA.
I like LA. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to stay. But instead you're like, well, Serena's pressuring me to go to New York with her, so I might as well go live that life again. And yeah. You should have stayed in LA, Charlie. Or just gone to Portland.
Yeah, now that you have the trust fund.
Yeah. Yeah, now that CeCe unlocked the trust fund, write yourself one big check and disappear. Because, of course, you can't just live off the trust fund indefinitely because eventually Carol will see it and be like, hey, why are you giving money to this stranger that I hired? So maybe she wouldn't. I don't know.
Blair once again shows up at the loft as it's clear that Dan has become her safe harbor. Blair is in denial about the possibility of Chuck being the father, but Dan urges her to at least consider the possibility. When Blair is worried about losing everything, Dan does give the cliche, "You still have me." She lays her head on his shoulder, giving him ample opportunity to sniff her hair.
I had to catch myself because when he said it, I was like, "Aw, wait, no, you were just bashing Nate about this 2 episodes ago. It's just that I want them together that much more because you know she has to lose everything here, and that's going to leave her with Dan. The train is rolling, and so Dan's you still have me, and I don't feel like it wasn't Blair losing her family. It was Blair losing her love and this dream of being a princess. That's what she's worried about, and I do feel like it's not quite the same as like, my mom's dead and my dad is going to jail, or my mom is dead and my dad is not a good guy and I can't be involved with him. I do feel like it would have been more inappropriate for Nate to say it. But like I said, I had to check myself because I did get the awe for that and then was like, oh, I criticized Nate for that. Also, there is this part of me, and maybe I'm just being ridiculous on it, that there was a moment that I thought that it could have been Dan's baby. Here's why. The piece that he got Louis not to publish, there's the end of it thing that he and Rufus talked about. And Rufus was like, well, if that's just creative license, right? And Dan was like, well, the writer never tells. Now, there's indication that was just a kiss. Dan said I was the last one to kiss her. There were a few times they talked about a kiss. But that interaction with Rufus, and there was another one in that episode that made me question if Dan and Blair slept together before Chuck. At the end of the summer, or at the beginning of the summer before everything really took off with her and Louie. So, but Dan never questions, is it mine? Which is what made me think, okay, I'm off base here. Because if anything, Dan would be the one to be like, it could also be me. But he never does.
That, and also I think Blair is not treating him as a sexual person at all. She's treating him like a friend.
She is. Well, that's how she's treating him. I'm just...
like talking about, sensitive breasts and all that.
No, yeah. Completely, almost a Serena stand-in.
Yeah.
Only one that she will just cuddle with, So...
Well, she's cuddled with Serena before, too.
She has. You're right. Yeah.
And this is what Gossip Girl says as the episode ends. How well do any of us really know each other? Even families have their secrets. They say blood is thicker than water, but it's also a lot harder to clean up when it spills. Maybe it's not the blood bonds that make us a family. Perhaps it's the people who know our secrets and love us anyways, so we can finally be ourselves. XOXO Gossip Girl. That is our episode. What is coming next?
Well, there's going to be a pregnancy reveal to Louie and Chuck. So I think that this might be what makes Chuck feel something again. That, he has hope that he has a baby on the way. So I think that's going to also create a whole whirlwind. There's going to be a time when Blair finds out who the father is. So that's coming. I do feel like Blair is about to lose Chuck and Louie, and it's going to send her back to Dan. I think that they've been playing up to that all along, and now the foreshadowing in this episode just really shoehorned that, I think. Ivy is full cast now. And so how do you catch her and maintain her in here in the Upper East Side without the money? So she either has to not get caught for a long time or completely revamp herself. So I'm feeling like she's just not going to be able to get caught. And that's going to bring Caroline and the real Charlie. Carol? The real Carol and Charlie back into the fold at some point. Yeah, they're going to stay with Cece until they go back. So it seems like at least one more episode in California, maybe, which is different than they usually do. Usually it's 2 episodes and then they're back. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, I don't feel like there was much to go on in this episode either, though. But I think that we're coming to the end of Louie. I feel like, yeah. Episode 11 is usually the Dan Serena, right?
10.
10 is usually Dan Serena, and the 11 is usually Thanksgiving? No, I guess that's different every time.
Yeah. 11's not anything in particular.
Okay. It's the 10th. Other than the fact that I know that that's when Vulture gave up.
Yes.
So it's funny because I'm trying to think of what is coming.
It's often the first episode back from the winter break.
Oh, following Christmas. Okay.
Because there's usually a month off from TV episodes.
Yeah, right.
Any other predictions?
I think that's it for today.
Moving into the segments. Hello there, Peabody here. And this is the Wayback Machine for traveling through time. And this is my boy, Sherman. Speak, Sherman.
Hello.
Good boy.
This week in fandom, we jumped into the Wayback Machine to travel to the Television Without Pity forums from 2011. Their overall impression of the episode, mid, average, okay.
Yeah. kind of dumb. I felt.
Yes. Welcome to season 5.
Oh.
Dan and Blair have to get together by the end of the season.
Yes. By mid-season. Stop it. By mid-season.
Nate whoring himself to an older woman. Again.
Uh-huh.
Really?
At least this time it's more voluntary.
Well, it started out voluntary the first time, too.
Yeah, I guess it always does, doesn't it? Nate, you dumb bastard.
Intrigued by Beatrice as a character.
Sure.
Kind of chaotic and fun.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Dan is a better friend to these people than they deserve. Why does Nate not care about Chuck at all?
Yes. All facts.
I mean, they're like living together and he doesn't even notice this.
Yeah. He is just totally like...
oblivious.
Yeah. I mean, because he's so obsessed with his own thing. And it's also just Chuck being Chuck to a degree, you know? Oh, Chuck's not feeling stuff. Cool.
Chuck's a sociopath.
Yep. Oh, Chuck's a sociopath? Yeah.
Shocker. They've been very happy with Serena, and they're worried that her returning to New York City will just be her returning to the norm.
Yeah. Because even though I thought she was kind of an asshole in this episode, I don't think that she was intentionally an asshole. I think that it's just, yeah, we're going to live together. That's what we do. Come on. And
why wouldn't we?
Yeah, just kind of bullies her way into things. But I don't think she does it intentionally. And I agree.
She does it intentionally, but not maliciously.
Not maliciously. But I agree that, and I don't think that, I think that to Serena, it's like, oh, this is a logical step for us to do, and not bullying the way it actually is. You know, I don't think that she sees it as bullying, but it is. But I also concur that she had such a glow up at the end of season 4. I'm a little nervous about her going back for season 5.
And finally, Chuck and Dan. Please, sir, can I have some more?
Yes. Yeah. They're great together. They really are. They
duck.
We're shipping duck now.
That is it for this week in fandom, though. Moving into episode grades, it is my week to go first. Like we've been saying, very average episode. Only kind of highlight is that final scene with Dan and Blair. And the Chuck and Dan stuff as well. So I ended up with a C+.
Yeah, I gave it a solid C. For the same reasons. The Chuck and Dan stuff was good. The ending and that last scene with Dan and Blair is good. There's a couple other pieces peppered in that I was like, okay. But for the most part, solid C.
Moving over to Stockwatch. Going up, I had Dan because he was a good friend to everyone, Blair and Chuck. Nate because he got laid again and he, it looks like he's got a job.
Yeah, doesn't know he's getting played.
I had Louie going up because he was not putting up with his sister's nonsense and he was defending his fiance. So good for him.
Mm-hmm.
I had Diana going up because she also got laid and it looks like her scheme is going to plan. She's roping that Nate in with her honeypot. I had Dorota going up because she had someone a pregnancy bond with. And she's walking a very fine line, but right now she just got that trust fund, so I got Ivy going up. Who do you got going up?
I also had Dan. Same thing. Good friend, especially good friend to Blair and Chuck. I also had Nate going up for being clueless as he's getting played. He's getting the sex and job. I can't be mad at that. I also had Payne. What's her name? Diana Payne going up. Again, she's running a scheme. I don't know what it is, but it's working. So good job with that. I had, I think that might be, I didn't give Louie an up. I get where you're coming from, but I also, I didn't give it to him. I am going to give the up to Beatrice, though, because I do feel like her scheme, well, nah, never mind. Oh, but I'll give it to the priest because, he pulled one over on everyone and got to be a bad priest.
For me, going down, I had Chuck because he feels nothing. I had Vanessa going out because she was mentioned and sucks. I had Beatrice going down because her scheme kind of failed and she didn't get anywhere. And then I also had the disappointed woman leaving Nate's room going down. She didn't get nothing out of that. Who do you have going down?
At least Nate could have gone down. So I am going to send Chuck down again, like you said, for not feeling anything and just being kind of stuck in a bad plot line right now. I'm not going to give Beatrix a down. I feel like she ended on a neutral for me because yes, the scheme didn't quite work out, but I feel like she is still trying to find her scheme. That was just sort of grasping at straws, but she's looking for something deeper. So I'm just going to leave her neutral on that. Oh, the realtor who, instead of calling Charlie when the check bounced, called Serena to let her know that the check bounced. So I'm going to end up on my spreadsheet putting her into the assistance column, but the realtor kind of fucked Ivy on that, so I'm going to send her down. And I think that's it for me.
But here's the best outfits from the last episode we've seen.
Moving over to best outfits. For me, I had Beatrice's striped purple dress from Missoni.
Yep. There wasn't a lot to choose from this episode, and it was kind of between that and Blair, but I really felt like she had head to toe had a better look.
That is it for segments. Do you have anything you would like to plug?
I will say I just started reading the audiobook of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Not sure if you've heard of it. It is a comedy book about a post-apocalyptic, basically Earth is turned into a giant dungeon and this random guy is trying to make his way through it. The audiobook is read by Jeff Hayes, I think his name is, and his cadence and tone sounds like Patrick Warburton and H. John Benjamin had a baby and a baby voice, and that's the voice that is narrating this, and it is perfect. It is just so well done and really captures the humorous tones and stuff like that. So I definitely, I'm not done it, so maybe the ending sucks, but 16 chapters in, this is a really good read. Also, you can find my Instagram and TikTok, steve.marchon, Marchion. Follow me there for all the fun stuff I post.
I am going to give an anti-plug. I've heard for years you have to read Grant Morrison's new X-Men run. And I'm about 10 issues in, and it's okay.
Is that the one from like the late 90s?
No, it's like 2014-ish.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. That's a much newer. But it's New X-Men is the title?
Yeah. Not a fan.
Yeah.
But if you want to find out more thoughts that I have in my brain, you can follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Hot Capicola. That's HOTCAPICOLA. And you can follow the podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at Non-Judging Breakfast Pod. And if you want links to our Patreon, our subreddit, or our Discord server, you can find them all on our website, nonjudgingbreakfastpod.com.
And if you would like to get in touch with us, we would love to hear what you have to say. Please send us an email at nonjudgingbreakfastpod@gmail.com. And we'd love to take a read and maybe even read it here on the show. While you're listening, also, if you could hit that like, subscribe, or follow button, and also leave a comment, because that really helps boost our visibility in Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And finally, why don't you go ahead and tell your friends what you're listening to? Let the folks at work know about the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, and you can make us your new water cooler talk.
And we will be back next week to talk about Season 5, Episode 3, The Jewel of Denial.
I like that.
The episode description reads, Nate must decide whether to cross moral lines at Diana's request. Dan has figured out who is publishing his book. Serena and Charlie return to the Upper East Side from California.
All right. I'm intrigued by some of that.
Denial, not just a river in Egypt.
Yep.
But until next time, you know you love us.
XOXO.
Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Oh, it seems I'm walking right to your door. My heart's still resting, looking for something more. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Never feels right when I'm out here on my own. I left last night and it feels like way too long. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Come back to me. Smile and you'll make my life complete. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me